morning, millennials. Welcome back to the Morning Toast. Happy hump. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
It's Wednesday. Hump day!
Wow, thank you for that. I know it's confusing. Is it hump day? Is it not? Dude's not here, Brüu's not here. You can't tell what day it is. But it is hump day. For a moment, I thought it might be Thursday.
Yeah, I'm just all like confused because we are doing 4 shows this week and it just doesn't feel like a Wednesday. I don't know.
I understand.
They say Mercury's... No,
they do say Mercury's in retrograde.
What's it called? Mercury. Mercury is in retrograde. Which
I don't subscribe to
me
those
neither.
notions.
It's just an excuse for bad behavior.
It's just an excuse to be a mess.
Yeah, like, oh, sorry, Mercury's in retrograde. Sorry, I'm late.
Like clean your room.
No, you're just late. It's not Mercury's fault. So I don't really believe in that shit. But
yeah, no, get your shit together.
Maybe that's why we can't decide what day it is.
No, we decided like really quickly Mercury was no longer in the room.
Yeah, I'm just not into all these horoscopes. Like, oh, I'm such Sagittarius. You know, like, no,
Yeah.
You're just annoying.
What's so funny is I was talking to my friends about horoscopes and we were trying to figure out what horoscope like the baby will be. And I was like, well, since it's a boy, it doesn't matter because he doesn't give a shit.
No, totally.
It's girly tings.
And I just want to say, like, if anybody ever comes up to me and is like, oh my, your baby's due in June, it's going to be a Gemini, leave my home.
No, that's like what people say. It's like
toxic.
It's when's your baby due? What's the gender? Horoscope analysis.
I just don't believe that. And I know this is like hella offensive. I just feel like if you're looking into your, stars and your moon charts, like, you need to start doing other things. Like, if you're looking for like a solution to your problems,
no, if you're looking for
it's not in your horoscope.
No, if you're looking for answers in the horoscope, you need to go find the answers
elsewhere.
Yeah, I would agree. Sorry to everyone that we're offending so early in the morning.
You know what? And so, early at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, we're just, feeling offensive.
Yesterday was the celiacs. Today, the horoscopes.
Monday was the celiacs.
Yeah. Did we offend anyone yesterday?
I didn't see anything. But
Me
you never
neither.
know.
Oh, I guess technically, like, if you were an Angelina Jolie stan who watched yesterday's episode, you wouldn't have been too pleased with us.
Things happen, you guys.
And the good thing is that I don't think any of those people exist, so...
I don't think so either. I have not met one.
Okay, so we have a great show for you guys today. It's Wednesday. Mm-hmm. Vanderpump Rules premiered last night, which was like an outer body experience. Like, honestly, so much time has passed.
Yeah.
I felt like I didn't even know these people at all.
No, I have so many thoughts. It was a strange experience.
It was, right? So we'll be recapping that in the TV recap. And I watched the Downton Abbey movie last night that I want to save for the TV recap because I don't want to spoil anything. But I had an experience while watching it. I'll say that.
Okay, I'm really excited to hear, even though I know, but like I'm excited to discuss.
Also, it's 10:45. Do not let me forget at 11 o'clock on the dot that I have to order us lunch. The place we want opens, and like it's just important. So
yeah,
don't let me forget.
We are recording another podcast after this for our Patreon channel. So if you guys remember a few weeks ago, we had a Dear Toasters about a woman whose husband was like always leaving a mess around the house, and it was really upsetting.
Traumatizing.
And it sort of turned into this conversation about things our husbands do that annoy us.
Yes.
And you guys were just like dying over everything. So we are doing a Patreon episode all about things our husbands do that annoy us. We got a lot of submissions from you guys about things your partners do. And so we're just going to like swap stories.
Yeah, you know what? By the way, I was shook because like we wrote a prompt in our Facebook group. Like, if you have a significant other who does something fucking annoying, like drop a comment. First of all, 600 comments so far when I checked this morning. So I just love how we can all agree on that.
Yeah.
And when I was reading through, I didn't want to read through a lot because I really want to be surprised when we record. I couldn't relate to some of these people's problems at all. Like, there are definitely universal, like, significant other problems that everyone comes across, like dishes. Can you take the trash out? I mean, now. But then people were coming up with some random shit that like their boyfriends, girlfriends, husbands, wives do, and I was like, can't relate.
Yeah, there was some stuff that I was like, oh, I'm so glad that that's like not something that I'm dealing with. But we're going to get through it all and, have a little laugh.
I left my house last night, which was just like, I got to stop doing that. I had a great time.
You do it all the time.
I know, but like weeknights are supposed to be relaxing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like the way people treat their weekends is how I treat my weekdays. Like, I recharge on the weekdays. Like, I work, I feel productive, I get my manicures, I watch TV. And then when the weekend comes, like, the weekdays are my break from the weekends, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So it's just been like, everyone's back in the city, post-summer, post-COVID, like so many things going on. Got to catch up with so many peeps. And honestly, I just can't do it anymore. Even though I'm not saying I had an amazing time. I went to dinner with Remy Bader and we had the best time. But like, I'm just exhausted today.
I'm exhausted for you.
I know. Gotta switch to a 3-day weekend.
Yeah.
That would solve all the problems.
I'm giving up hope on it.
No, Jackie, you can't.
I am. And I'm also not convinced that that's the right way to move forward as a society.
Who are you?
I don't know. It's 5 days for a reason, you know?
No, I really think like if we switch to a 4-day week, 3-day weekend, like so many things would be different. Like I just feel it.
I just feel like, at least right now, we already don't have enough structure.
You talking about me and you?
No. As a society.
What do you mean?
Like we just don't have enough structure. Everyone's working from home. Like the weekdays bleed into the weekends, you know? And if we go to a 4-3 ratio, that just like would disintegrate further.
You never know. It could possibly have an adverse effect. Like 4 days, we're out here, we're killing it, we're making our coin, we're getting things done, we're
That's
answering
very possible.
emails.
That's very possible.
Because I'm just saying that's a possibility.
Yeah. I mean, I'm open to whatever, but it's not as...
I just can't believe you're saying this when literally one of the founding principles of this show is our belief in the 4-day work week.
I know, but it's like not as important to me as it once was. And as someone once pointed out, that a 4-day work week starts with 4-day childcare, which means the kids are only in school for 4 days a week. And I'm sorry, they need that 5th day.
No, you know what?
They need that 5th day.
I am like a firm believer in education being a farce.
Oh, I agree, but they need like schooling, they need daycare.
You know what goes on at school? No learning, bullying. I just think schools are fucking toxic, honestly. And I cannot recall one thing I've learned.
Even if you decide to homeschool, there needs to be 5 days of schooling.
I really can't recall one thing I've learned past the age of like 5th grade that I find valuable. Like 5th grade, up until then you learn how to read, write, basic math. Like that shit's important. Mm-hmm. But like, why was I learning about like, I don't know, like neutrons when I've never used a neutron or a proton in my life? Like that seems like a waste of time to me.
I don't know. It's interesting to know like what the world around you is made up of.
Yeah, but so I still don't know what it is.
But you do. Neutrons, protons, atoms.
What are those?
They're things that make up mass.
Like, is this a proton?
No.
It's not? Is like that a proton? Okay, here's a better question.
This is probably the dumbest conversation.
Okay, where are the atoms?
They're in the atmosphere.
Oh, they're like here.
Atmosphere.
They're here? Mm-hmm. Is this made of atoms?
I'm not a scientist. I can't tell you.
See, that's what I'm saying. We spent all this time on like protons, neutrons, electrons, and we still don't know what the fuck it is.
You sound pretty well versed, electrons.
Well, so you know, the protons are positively charged.
Look at her.
The neutrons are neutrally charged. Electrons, negative.
Look at you.
Yeah. No, all I'm saying is like the 4-day work week works, and you poking holes in it is not the kind of support we need on our side right now.
I'm never gonna be like on the other side of, you know, the picketing saying I want a 5-day work week.
Yeah, you're gonna be on the other side of the street saying I want a 6-day work week.
No, but I just don't know if I'm showing up for the protest for 4 days anymore.
Oh, I really believe in it.
I think I no longer have a horse in this race.
That's disgusting, honestly. Like,
you live in like.
How could you do this to me?
Things change. Priorities change.
Well, for those who still are championing the 4-day work week, I see you and I stand with you.
I'm not saying I'm like against the 4-day work week. It's just become less important. I've moved on, and it's not happening, and so I need to move on.
I actually just don't agree with that. Like, we are moving forward.
Okay, I support your support for it.
It's honestly disgusting.
That I'm so supportive?
It's disgusting, Jackie. Disgusting.
I'm sorry, guys. And there's been a lot of studies that people like 4-day work weeks can lead to more productivity. And if we go in the 4-day work week direction, I will still be thrilled. But I'm just moving on from it in terms of like waiting for it. It's like waiting for rain in the drought.
Yeah.
And I just need to start hoping for
waiting
on
other things.
You
but
know?
I feel that for sure.
Oh,
like,
that's really what I meant. I didn't mean anything nefarious.
Okay, by the way, I 100% hear you because it's never going to happen.
Okay, thank you.
So, like, it's annoying, but, like, I still believe in it 100% as do you. But, like, the waiting is definitely becoming annoying.
Okay, great. Glad we're on the
so
same.
glad we, like, worked through that. Like, we had a low point with the protons, and then we got back because that was an important distinction.
Yeah. No, that's all I meant. Like, I really wasn't trying to, like, upend the whole show and say, like, I take back everything I ever said.
Yeah, and just, like take a dump on our core principles and values.
Yeah. No, I wasn't trying to take a dump on them.
By the way, as much as we say like the 4-day work week is such an integral part of this business, we actually don't even have the 4-day work week. But this week we do.
This week we do.
This week we stand in solidarity.
Yes, we do.
So we have an amazing show, as usual, and I just feel like it's time to get into it. There's some mindless news. There's some mindful news.
Yeah, it's a nice mix. We love to see it. And without further ado, thinking of him on hump day, it is time for the Fast 5 stories that you need to know before you wake up and take a bite out of your morning toast.
And today's episode is brought to you by Brüush. Brüush, the best electric toothbrush on the market. Not only does it work so fabulously, it is also very affordable because a lot of electric toothbrushes are out here charging over $200, which in my opinion is just unreasonable. And Brüush agrees, and that's why they have an affordable, amazing electric toothbrush that comes with 6 unique modes to customize your brushing experience. The battery life lasts 4 weeks, and it comes with a magnetic charging stand, compact travel case, and they offer a subscription program. So you never have to forget to change your brush head again because they will ship you new replacement heads for your Brüush every 6 months. They also offer a very sleek, modern, aesthetically pleasing design. Comes in trend-driven colors. I've had 2 colors. Right now I have this like hunter green moment, and prior to that I had like a millennial pink moment. They're constantly dropping new colors. It's literally like supreme, like biggest drops. You got to get the colors. And we have a $15 off discount for you. So if you want to get $15 off your Brüush toothbrush kit and the refill plan, use promo code TOAST at Brüush.com. That's $15 off using promo code TOAST at BRUUSH.com.
Thank you, Claudia. First,
it's a pleasure.
Story, some big news. Jesse Palmer has been named the new host of The Bachelor. He says, "I'm humbled by the opportunity to return." The Bachelor has found its new host. Jesse Palmer will take the reins as the 26th Bachelor embarks on his journey to find love, ABC announced yesterday. The former NFL quarterback is returning to the franchise after becoming the 5th Bachelor in 2004. He ended his relationship with Jessica Bolin, but the couple called it quits. He ended his season with Jessica Bolin, but they called it quits 1 month later. He is now engaged to model Emily Fardo, who he began dating in 2017. This isn't his first time hosting for ABC. He previously hosted the network's dating series The Proposal in 2018.
Oh my God, right.
As well as The Ultimate Surfer this summer.
So this is really interesting. Let me tell you why. One, because what I would think, like, who eventually is going to replace Chris Harrison, Jesse Palmer never crossed my mind when it's such an obvious answer.
No, I'm, like, so shocked because it's so obvious.
So if you don't know, Jesse Palmer is the host of Daily Mail TV. So he's actually like a certified bona fide host.
A professional host. That's what, that's on his LinkedIn.
He's
host.
Connected to the franchise.
Yes.
He's been The Bachelor. He's very handsome.
And he was hosting these ancillary series for ABC. How did we not think of this?
No, I can't believe it never crossed my mind because it's so obvious.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's something really interesting going on here because there's like 2, in my opinion, Bachelor Nation is comprised of 2 people. 2 groups of people. The first group is like people who've been watching since day one, like we watched in high school, like have seen Jesse Palmer. They were obsessed with like, what's that bachelorette's name with the D?
Deandra?
Yeah, like something like that. Like they were just obsessed from day one. They like know. And that tends to be like an older crowd because the show has been on for so long. And then the second group of people is people who recently started watching because all these contestants become influencers and so it's like a Gen Z. The Snatchler, yes. So the second group, this Gen Z crew, has no fucking idea who Jesse Palmer is. Like I was reading our comments on Instagram, like people were like, "I'm sorry to this man. Who is this man?" And then this like OG Bachelor Nation crew are obsessed. Like this is the best thing that ever happened to them. And they're the people who feel like Chris Harrison was so wronged and they want him back. And I think that this choice of Jesse Palmer like really satiated this group of people.
I think that it has the potential to satiate both groups of people. I actually am very curious to hear what the Snatchler thinks because I would say that she's a spokesperson for group number 2.
Yes, of course.
And she's dropping her new episode tomorrow, so I'm sure we'll get her thoughts on this. And she probably does not know who Jesse Palmer is, but I think that just his hosting chops will speak for himself. I think that he's a good choice because he is a host. He will show up to the show and it won't be about him. And that's what it's meant to be a host. And so I know a lot of people wanted Wells, but like Wells... Then it's about Wells,
You know what? I think Wells could have done like a similar job in not making it about himself. But if I'm choosing between Wells and Jesse Palmer, I'm going with Jesse Palmer.
Like this is a more serious choice.
It's a serious job. Like Chris Harrison took it very seriously.
And it's The Bachelor saying like, okay, we are making changes, but not that many changes. Like this is still, it's not going to be, a rotating cast of former Bachelor, Bachelorette, exactly. Like it's still going to be the show with the host and the contestants.
As it should be, in my opinion. Like as much as I love seeing all these celebrities get involved in Bachelor in Paradise, it's very confusing. And the point of a host and what Chris Harrison was very good at was being this like stable figure in the show. I know a lot of the like lead contestants relied on him a lot, like behind the scenes, and you could feel that he was this like paternal energy. And I definitely feel as though that's missing.
Yeah.
Like that stability. And I think Tayshia and Caitlyn did an amazing job, but they are not hosts. They really were more there as like friends. They weren't like hosting the show.
That's what they said too. And so I think that like if this just signals that, you know, The Bachelor is going back to being The Bachelor, and then The Bachelor in Paradise is the fun one still.
So is Jesse Palmer not hosting Bachelor in Paradise? I assume like it's a one job man does the whole job.
I would think he's doing Bachelor in Paradise, but like they do all these extracurricular things on Bachelor in Paradise, whether it's even with when Chris Harrison was the host, like they would bring in all these different elements. So they're saying The Bachelor will go back to being The Bachelor.
I just like feel stupid for never once putting Jesse Palmer's name into the ring. Like it's so obvious.
Beyond stupid.
We were just talking about him because I sat next to him at the US Open.
Yeah.
And by the way, he's very handsome.
Yeah, no, I think that this is a really good choice. I think he is up to the task.
Me too.
And I look forward to seeing, if I ever watch again, what he brings to the table.
Do you think that like when I was sitting next to him at the US Open, like he knew he was about to be the next Bachelor? They do things so fast at ABC.
They do, but like also, he definitely had already received the initial email of, you know, we'd like to test you for
initial
so-and-so.
offer. Yeah.
You know, like he knew his name was in the ring.
Yeah, I wish he would have told me. Like I feel when I saw the news, I was like, duh. Like it was, I felt so dumb.
Especially since he hosted The Proposal.
And we actually talk about him all the time. Like
no, we're just, I think everybody missed it. I think there were so many predictions floating around, and I honestly never saw his name in the mix.
Not once.
If only it was this easy to do Wheel of Jeopardy replacement host.
What happened with that? What did they end up doing?
They're still like rotating, figuring it out. They don't have a Jesse Palmer just waiting in the wings.
And that sucks.
That does
suck. That's tough. It's 10:59. Okay, don't let me forget to order
We're
lunch.
ordering lunch because we need to fuel up in between podcasts.
Oh my God, wait, hold on. It's not 11 o'clock yet. Just like won't let me add the salad and the ice cream.
Well, then what are we doing?
Did you want a fountain soda?
No,
I got you one.
I'm good with water. Thank you. Yeah, I'm good.
It's a weird flex.
Like unless it's going to be a Burger King fountain soda. Because you can't have so much caffeine when you're pregnant.
Right.
And I already do one espresso every day.
Forget that you're pregnant. You really don't complain as much as you should.
That means a lot to me. Thank you.
Maybe Zach would disagree?
No, he really wouldn't. I just want to be the same girl I've always been. Big belly.
Yeah. No, you're just like, you know what you are? You're the same girl you've always been with just like a little sprinkle of like a Chessie energy.
I
didn't say you looked like Chessie. She's like a very maternal figure.
And she does like chili.
And she makes it great. Okay, and now it's 11 o'clock.
Okay.
Still says not available right now.
Okay, give it a minute.
Okay, yeah, I quit the app. Just...
Sorry, guys. I guess I could share our next story, but
sure.
You'll only be half listening, even though it's not really a story, more so a series of photos. And
it's here. Oh. What topping did you want on peanut butter? Oreos?
Reese's or Oreos? Yeah.
I found the Oreos first.
Great.
Okay, and then the chopped salad, no chicken.
No chicken, no roasted peppers.
Okay. You can continue.
Okay. Well, the next story is more so a series of photos, and it just I think it's an important story.
Okay, should I get myself an ice cream too? Yeah.
We could split. We split last time.
I know, but like I don't like peanut butter.
Okay.
Just ignore me. Okay, now I'm done. Okay. Let me make sure I send it to the right address because I'm always sending our work lunch to my house.
Mm-hmm.
It's a scheme I do just so I can have food in my house I don't have to pay for. Try it. By the way, you guys, if you are using Uber Eats and you're not doing the priority delivery for an extra 99 cents, like, you ain't living. This is not an ad, by the way. This feels like a really amazing ad.
A really native ad for Uber Eats, but no, we're just a couple of hungry gals.
Expansive.
Okay, you're going to have to move faster.
You can continue.
We're in the middle of something.
You can continue.
Fine. Daniel Craig and stars hit the red carpet
Who's
premiere.
Daniel Craig? Why does that sound familiar?
James Bond.
Oh, right.
For No Time to Die. World premiere. Finally premiered. This movie has been just like, I would say, the symbol of the coronavirus pandemic.
Why do you say that?
Because it was the first movie to be pushed due to COVID.
I thought that was A Quiet Place.
That's how I guess that was it for you. But A Quiet Place at least had their premiere. Mm-hmm. They're having their premiere now. This movie was supposed to come out in like April, I think, and they pushed it early on. They kept pushing it. Now 18 months later, it's finally here. So and there was so much, like, the songs already came out, but the movie hadn't come out.
Oh, Billie Eilish did the song, right?
Billie Eilish did the song. So Daniel Craig and his fellow stars finally hit the red carpet, and it was a swanky affair. Plus,
were Will and Kate at this affair?
Will, Kate, and Charles and Camilla were there.
Charles and Camilla?
Yes, and it was very much a royal affair, and it also took place at Royal Albert Hall. So there was just
interesting.
So much happening. Like,
Kate looked amazing. That dress.
She looked amazing. I feel like the royal family hasn't had a royal moment in 2 years, and they're making up for it in spades.
This was a gorgeous gown, a gorgeous evening, a royal affair.
A royal affair. And I think it's a sign, you know, I'm glad that the movie's finally here. How much longer could they push it off?
Right.
And I'm happy for everyone involved. Like, Ana de Armas is in it.
Oh, wow.
You know, but it was supposed to come out, like, she was, like, peaking.
Right. Do you ever feel like there are certain people
who the COVID ruined their career?
Yeah. I have a few people, I think, and I think of Ana de Armas like that. Like, she was so hot and heavy. Ben Affleck coming off of Knives Out, like, biggest model and actress in the world. Everyone wanted her on their billboards. Everyone wanted her in their movie. And now I just, like, kind of forgotten about her.
Yeah, but I think that you could say that about anyone who was sort of popping off
at that time.
But I think a lot of people made the most of it, and it didn't ruin their careers, you know?
Yes, but there's just a few people who come to mind.
Yes, but I would have thought that about, like, Addison and Charlie.
No, because
even though what they do is digital, but, like, they were just, like, becoming big celebrities, and then they, like, missed a year and a half of, like, real celebrity things, like red carpets. And
no, I totally disagree. I think that, like, if it weren't for COVID, I don't know if they would have been as big of a stars as they are now. Like, people were just so bored. And, like, when they were blowing up, everyone was like, I don't understand why they're blowing up. And they were like, I don't understand why we're blowing up. And it was literally just because nobody had anything else to do. So I actually think, like, COVID was the catalyst for their fame. That's what I think.
The way I remember it is, like, they blew up right before COVID, but I guess everybody, they went from being, like, just TikTok famous to, like, now everybody's on TikTok.
And, like, them being A-list.
Yeah. So I think, but also their careers are much more digital, which works for
easy.
COVID. And de Armas needs to wait for her movies to come out.
Right. I don't even think she has an Instagram.
I think she does.
She just gives me the vibe that, like, she would not want it.
Most, like, movie stars don't.
So there's this Netflix movie coming out, like, with everyone, you know, Jonah Hill, Jennifer Lawrence, Leonardo DiCaprio. Have you seen the trailer?
I heard about Jennifer Lawrence and Leo.
I think we should just all talk about how the movie looks atrocious. Like, Meryl Streep is in it. I watched a trailer. Like, Leo and Jennifer Lawrence are, like, these nerdy scientists who, like, have to alert the president that there's, like, an asteroid coming, and, like, Meryl Streep, the president, like, doesn't want to believe it. It looks so stupid. Like, I was actually really surprised.
Are you going to watch it?
Like, probably. What else am I doing?
Okay.
I finished Downton Abbey. Now I have no will to live.
Will you see James Bond, No Time to Die?
I don't really get into the Bond movies.
It's star-studded.
Yeah, I know. I've seen the one that I've seen 007, Casino Royale. That one was good. And then Adele wrote the song for Skyfall, but I don't think I saw it.
I don't think I've seen one of them. Not one.
They're really not for us. Did you see also Daniel Craig was, like, under fire because he, like, someone had asked him, like, you know, eventually he's not going to be able to be Bond anymore, and people obviously...
I think this is his last Bond.
They say that every time.
No, I think this is really his last Bond, but they haven't, and it's going to be a while before we get our new Bond.
Right. And so there are always these classic names thrown in the ring, like Idris Elba. But someone had asked him, like, if, you know, what would he think about a Mrs., like a Jamie Bond, you know? And he, like, went off being like, no. And honestly, like, I kind of feel that. Like, just make another movie with, like, a female spy. Like, this is James Bond. Like, it's like, Bond. It has, like, leave it alone, you know?
I hear you.
Jemae Bond.
Unless
it's Jemae Bond, and she fights crime in Australia.
Unless it's Jemae Bond, I don't want it.
And Kwame is her sidekick. By the way, I could literally talk for hours just about Jemae.
No, I agree. And that's the only way we are getting a female Bond.
And by the way, like, you know when, like, you discover something early, or, like, you discover, like, a TV show or an artist early, like, you feel really proud. Mm-hmm. So Jemae is an Australian show.
And she's a private school girl.
That is such a good point. She is a private school girl. And Jemae was a show in Australia, and I think they took the first season of Jemae and played it on primetime on HBO for one season, and nobody watched it in America, but I did, and, like, I feel like I'm an investor in Jemae. Like, I feel like I invented her. dressed up as Jemay.
That's my favorite story about Claudia. So Jemay premiered, and no, she was a character on Summer Heights High, and then she got her spinoff. So people were familiar with Jemay, but it's definitely extremely niche.
Especially in America. She's huge in Australia.
So for Halloween 2014, Claudia dressed up as Jemay private school girl, and we went to a party.
By the way, it was a good costume, right? Like, just execution-wise.
Yeah.
I looked like Jemay.
Yeah, you were wearing like
her school
uniform, and you have the same hair color, and
I did a side part, and I just walked around and I was like, "You're such a fucking bitch."
Right, but like nobody fucking knew what Claudia was, and it just looked like she was wearing a nightgown, honestly.
It was honestly embarrassing, especially because the party we went to, like, I was an intern and Jackie was a full-time employee at work. It was just a work event.
Yeah. And nobody knew
that was embarrassing.
That was like, that's the worst thing that could happen with your costume, especially if like you committed to a look that like you're not feeling yourself.
Yeah, I felt that way when Ben and I dressed up as DJ Khaled and his son, and like nobody knew who we were, and it was just like stupid.
Yeah, that sounds stupid.
We were just like trying to be like viral because like DJ Khaled was like 2017. Like DJ Khaled was like, Snapchat king.
In hindsight, that sounds like not a good idea.
They can't all be winners. I'm sorry. Like,
no.
We've had some when we dressed up as Dr. Phil and Danielle Bregoli, that was fabulous. Mm-hmm. Except like I went to a party and someone else was dressed up as Danielle Bregoli and like she did it better. But whatever. As a unit, she didn't have a boyfriend, so like me and Ben were perfect together. And then we also did Black China and Rob, which I think is our best work.
That's good.
What about you? What's your best Halloween costume?
Oh
Moira?
What would you say?
Moira
was really good. Honestly, no offense, like I crush it with Halloween. It's been a while, and like I've lost some steam because also I have nowhere to go usually.
And by the way, Halloween, like,
and this
when
past year, I was
21,
invited to a party, and Zach and I were like, "We'll go so that we can dress up." And we just wound up dressing up, taking pictures, and then Kaylor came over, and that
sounds so fun.
That was enough for me.
By the way, I'm seeing Kaylor literally in like 30 hours.
I know. My best costumes, though, where do I begin? I mean, someone reminded me yesterday.
Not including this.
No, these are the best ones.
Of course.
They're a whole performance.
And we are working on something so good for this year.
We are. And we're going to vlog it so you guys can like get through understand the process and our thought process. So someone reminded me yesterday, Angelina Jolie plays Maleficent. That's why you think she's a witch.
Yes.
And I once dressed as Maleficent. Crushed it.
That was really good.
Once dressed as Chanel from Scream Queens.
Cute.
Crushed it. Once dressed as a Cheerio from Glee.
Oh, that was your best, in my opinion.
So cute. I have to go through my timeline, but I used to really
get into it.
I used to go hard. Oh, Riverdale. And I dressed as Char Blossom, and Zach was...
oh, that's cute.
Zach and I also did Jessie and Woody from Toy Story.
That's a little basic.
But it was a good execution. I was feeling my look.
By the way, honestly, it's much easier to put together like a fire costume when you have a husband or a boyfriend, like to play along with you.
He was a Dallas Cowboys football player. I was a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader.
So cute.
That was really, really cute.
Very Casey Musgraves.
Yeah.
So yes, I like how we've just taken this whole James Bond, Jemay, Halloween. But yes, justice for Jemay Bond.
Justice for Jemay Bond.
And justice for our next sponsor, Honey. When you shop, like usual, on your favorite sites, Honey will automatically fill in the promo code box for you at checkout. But it won't fill it in with just one code. It'll dump a ton of codes in there, every code it can find. Then it tests them in seconds to see if one gives you a discount. Plus, Honey knows where to look for promo codes that are hard to find on your own. It's like getting a million promo codes from this one little podcast ad. So if you don't have Honey, it is the best browser extension. If you use this link, it'll be completely free to download. And basically, every time you're shopping, I've used it on clothes, I've used it on food, I've used it on makeup. Every time you're shopping, this little box comes down and you like press the button. Yeah, apply coupons. And it takes like 4 seconds and it'll run every coupon out there on the internet and find you the one with the best savings. I'm always just like constantly saving money. It's so hard to be me. You can join Honey and get the browser extension at joinhoney.com/toast. That's joinhoney.com/toast. And you truly just won't regret it.
No, you will not save money with Honey every time I'm shopping.
It's just a part of who I am now.
Coming in clutch with some savings. I shaved on this shirt in particular.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
I bought
so that you can make fun of me.
I bought the sweater online and like I probably saved money on it too.
Yeah, because Honey's just looking out for you, even when you're not looking out for yourself.
Constantly.
Okay, next story. A little sad relationship news, SRN. Vicki Gunvalson and Steve Lodge break up after a 2-year engagement.
Yeah.
The former Real Housewives of Orange County star and Lodge have broken up after 2 2 years after getting engaged, a source confirmed to Page Six. E! News first reported that the gubernatorial hopeful ultimately ended things with Vicki after they tried reconciling following a June split that Gunvalson had initiated. I had no idea there was such turmoil here. I really thought they were a steady couple.
I just saw like yesterday that they had unfollowed each other on Instagram, so I knew it was over. And I totally forgot Steve was a gubernatorial candidate. And I wonder how it's going to affect his gubernatorial race when he doesn't have.
The race is over.
Oh. I guess it really affected it. Maybe they stayed together for the race.
And that she could be like the governor's wife.
And like maybe that would be enough to keep them happy. And then when he lost, like she knew, like I'm married to a loser and like I want out. I sometimes feel like Gunvalson like was the one for Vicki. And I know he was like mean and angry. But I don't know. I just feel like they could have somehow made it work.
I think that's like with anything, you know? They could have made it work, but they didn't want to put in the work that it would take. That sounds like a lot of work for them.
Or honestly, maybe Brooks was the guy for her.
Stop.
Talk about having like the worst track record of relationships of all time.
Yes, but this relationship, I thought it was different, you know? She's
Is the restaurant calling?
Okay, just pick up.
Okay, hold on.
Make sure our order is snatched to the gods. Anyways, an insider...
Hi, how are you?
Oh. An insider told E! News that Steve and Vicki had been living separately for much of the pandemic, and that Steve had been living like he was a single man in Puerto Vallarta while Vicki was still in the U.S. Yeah, that doesn't make for a good, you know, engagement.
On your salad?
No.
She wants not. Yeah, she wants nothing on the salad.
Other than salad tings.
Thank you for calling. Obviously, your order was problematic.
Obviously, like you didn't like clarify with that.
No, she's just confused because like why would you pay for a big old salad when you like took off all the good things?
When I took off the protein.
Yeah, exactly.
Usually I would get a scoop of tuna.
And she was trying to be nice because like you're paying for it. Like why don't you get something else?
Okay,
like,
usually I would get a scoop of tuna, but sometimes they put it on top of the salad and then in transit it just becomes like tuna mess.
Tuna doesn't travel well.
And like I'm not technically supposed to eat tuna while pregnant, but I had it once and I would have it again if it was good quality tuna.
They also have egg salad, but on a salad I guess that's gross.
I actually like egg salad.
Do you want me to call her
No.
back? Okay.
I'm not in the mood right. It's too early. It's not even noon. So that's why I don't want tuna right now.
I understand.
If we were eating at the restaurant, I would have gotten it.
Of course.
That's what
Things
I'm saying.
change at the restaurant.
Things change, but you have to think of the transport.
You know what? I wanted to tell her, because I love this place, but they do one thing that really bothers me, especially in transit, but also in the restaurant. So I always get a wrap. And they put the wrap in like the plastic container with a pickle. And so when you open it up, like the pickle is just like fragrant everywhere. Yeah. And your whole wrap smells like pickle and like the juice of the pickle.
It's contaminated.
It is. Fuck, I should have said no pickle.
Damn.
Or pickle on the side so you could eat it.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
That's annoying.
Our next story, Khloe Kardashian responds to fan asking if she was banned from the Met Gala. She said,
what did she say?
She said that is absolutely not true. On Tuesday, a fan asked the Good American founder to clarify speculation that she hasn't been asked to attend. There had also been gossip circling that Khloe had been banned from the event. Apparently, E! News reported that. I did not hear that.
Me neither.
So the fan wrote, Khloe, now that you're online, please tell if the Met Gala rumors are true because I'll burn that dinosaur's bones at Khloe Kardashian. Please clarify. Thank you. To which she responded, absolutely not true. I mean, I don't think you can be banned from an event if you've never been invited.
Right.
So I just think she's never been invited.
No, and honestly, like we were just talking about this and like how she's like maybe just not highbrow enough. And ever since we started having those conversations, she's been on this like national campaign of a Candy Crush commercial.
Yes.
And it's like so embarrassing. I mean, sure, she's making a lot of money, but like you can't do both.
I agree, but she was in one of the commercials with Doja Cat. Did you see that one? Too. And they were so cute, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I know, but like Doja Cat is like having this moment right now. First of all, she's on every billboard. Like she's the new face of Pepsi.
Yeah.
She has this Doja Cat thing. She's always just like, I don't know, when she does it, it's not like tacky at all. Like she's just right now like one of the most famous female artists in the world. And like when you do that, you become a spokesperson for a lot of brands. Like for me, it doesn't feel weird, but like when Khloe does it, it's just like, oh God, like what is Khloe doing again? I don't know why.
I think that's just like being like mean and having different standards for different people.
I'm just like being honest. I don't think I'm being mean.
No, I hear what you're saying. I do.
Like Doja Cat is just like so like millennial. I don't know.
I hear what you're saying.
When she does a Candy Crush commercial,
and
I'm like,
Doja
yes,
Cat
Doja
should have been at the Met Gala.
Agreed.
And that was someone who I was surprised wasn't there.
Agreed.
So I don't think that Candy Crush and Met Gala invitations like are mutually exclusive. Though
I think for Khloe Kardashian they are. No, but she didn't even answer the question. So she said she's not banned, but did she say she's never been invited?
She just said she's not banned.
Right, no,
but like,
the band is like not the real news story. You can't, what would she be banned for? Like, that's stupid. She didn't answer the part of the question that I really want to know. Like, have you ever been invited? And if so, like, how does that make you feel?
The fan didn't ask that question. They just said, is it true that you've been banned?
Oh, that's like so embarrassing for Khloe.
I know.
But at least Kourtney didn't go this time.
And Kylie.
Yeah, no, but Kylie's been. Like, Kourtney has never been. So if Kourtney goes, then Khloe's the only Kardashian who's never been.
But this year, those who didn't go were in the majority.
Yes. No, but I'm just saying, like, in the lifetime, like, Kylie's been a million times. She'll go a million times. Same with Kendall, same with Kim. But Khloe and Kourtney have never been. And so when Kourtney was in the city for the VMAs, I'm like, oh, her and Travis are definitely going. And that would have been really sad for Khloe. But now it's still Khloe and Kourtney. Like, it's still not that sad because both of them have still never been. But once one of them goes and leaves the other, like, then it's sad.
Maybe they made a pact to each other. Like, we'll never embarrass the other like that.
Right. It'll be both of us or none of us.
Yeah. And Anna would be smart. And especially after, the motley crew we saw this year.
Woof.
Who are you to not invite Khloe?
I completely agree.
Are you ready for our fifth and final story?
Already?
I know. It happened so fast.
Is it the fifth and final story that's brought to you by Pill Club?
It is.
Because life is stressful enough and access to healthcare shouldn't be. Luckily, getting birth control is one less thing you have to worry about with the Pill Club. You'll never have to make a trip to the doctor or wait in line at the pharmacy ever again because they provide access to care from the comfort of your own home and delivery to your door in very discreet packaging. So the Pill Club is a birth control subscription prescribed by medical professionals and delivered straight to your door for free. The Pill Club carries over 120 FDA-approved brands, and most brands of birth control are free with insurance or Medicaid. Otherwise, prices start as low as just $9 a month without insurance. They'll deliver the birth control to your door for free in discreet packaging. And right now, when you go to thepillclub.com/toast, the Pill Club is offering a $10 donation to bedsider.org for every Morning Toast listener who becomes a patient. Your donation will help low-income individuals get access to birth control through bedsider.org. So that's thepillclub.com/toast to get your first birth control care package and donate to help more women in need of affordable birth control. Remember, that's thepillclub.com/toast, and you must use that link to make a donation. Thepillclub.com/toast.
Thank you, Claudia.
It's a pleasure.
Our fifth and final story is that Loughlin has set her acting return in When Hope Calls at GAC Family. So she is actually headed back to Hallmark with a guest starring role in season 2 of When Hope Calls at GAC Family. Let me explain first.
Yeah.
Loughlin will reprise the role of Abigail Stanton.
You pronounce her name so weird, even though I know it's like the right way. It's Lori Loughlin, but continue.
Lori will reprise the role of Abigail Stanton, whom she originally played in When Calls the Heart on the Hallmark Channel. When Hope Calls is a spin-off series of that series. Its first season...
But she was also on When Calls the Heart.
Okay. This is a lot of When Calls to understand.
Yeah, right.
She was on When Calls the Heart.
Which is the big show.
Which is the big show on Hallmark. She played Abigail Stanton.
Oh, her character's going to another show.
So When Calls the Heart, the big show, got a spin-off of When Hope Calls that is on like a different Hallmark affiliated platform. The spinoff started without Lori, and now she's joining the spinoff in her When Calls the Heart role.
Okay.
Its first season aired on Hallmark Movies Now and Hallmark Channel, but it's moving to GAC Family for season 2. I'm not sure what GAC Family is, but I'm sure I'll be downloading it at the holiday season.
This is very interesting because I remember when we were talking about the college admission scandal, like, in its heyday, we were talking about Felicity Huffman versus Lori Loughlin and how, like, we think it'll have a much bigger effect on Lori Loughlin's career because Lori does Home and Family. It's constantly Hallmark, Lifetime, like very homey, family-friendly stuff. And that is very hard to get back into when you've been through a scandal. But she's out here working before Felicity Huffman is even. So
Felicity Huffman's working. I thought I saw her in some stuff. I don't know. Let's check her IMDb. I feel like I've seen her like commercials.
I feel like I haven't heard a word from her since she's gotten out of prison.
No, I think I saw a commercial like for a big show or movie.
Really?
Yeah, hold on.
Well, I just want to say, I believe, like, if you do your crime, you do your time, you should be able to
earn a living.
So
I agree. I think that
I don't have a problem with this.
I don't have a problem with this either. And I think for Hallmark, like starting her on this secondary show, seeing how, the fans react, maybe they really missed her.
Right.
I think it all sounds good. Also, the description for the show sounds...
It's a very Little House on the Prairie, right?
Listen to this. The series is set in Brookfield, a town on the western prairie of Canada.
What did I say?
In season 2, a Christmas festival worthy of Harper's Bazaar happens in Brookfield.
Is this modern times? No, because I've seen they're always wearing like bonnets. Like,
yeah, no, happens in Brookfield as the community is one of 3 contenders in the magazine's search for America's #1 country Christmas town. The entire town is preoccupied with creating the essence of Christmas for the photojournalist's lens, though behind the scenes, residents are not living the spirit of the season. In the midst of the fuss, a stagecoach appears, and out steps Abigail Stanton and her son Cody, who have brought a troubled boy to Lillian's orphanage.
wow, chilling.
Chilling stuff.
So, and you know, Olivia Jade is back at work now. She's on Dancing with the Stars. Like, I do feel like everyone from this scandal is like slowly moving out of it. But I'm constantly like reading things on Twitter, like, you know, seeing what people are saying, and everyone's like, can't believe like Olivia Jade. Like, honestly, I just think it's really important to remember that like nobody in this college admissions scandal like murdered anyone. Like the way that like we want them all to like go in a hole and like never come out, like. They made a judgment error, and they broke the law. They paid for their crimes. Can we move on?
Yeah, I think
they
that's
didn't
what
hurt
they're
anyone.
trying to do.
Like they didn't kill anyone.
Yeah,
I'm saying like the narrative on social media.
No, I agree. I mean, don't go to social media for their thoughts. But also watching the documentary, I think it was called The College Admission Scandal.
Varsity Blues?
The one that was like
a dramatization.
So
bizarre,
also sort of changed my POV about the whole thing.
Because, yeah, the most famous people were like the face of the scandal when like just these like not famous, super rich people were the ones doing way worse things, spending more money, bribing people, breaking more laws.
That wasn't even what I was taking away from it, which was just that the fucked up nature of the college admissions process to begin with.
Yes. It shouldn't be that hard.
And that there are all of these back doors, but the side door is illegal.
Are legal, yeah.
And it's just corrupt through and through.
Totally.
And then all of that corruption landed on the shoulders of Olivia Jade.
Right. And like all that corruption quote unquote victimized Stanford or whatever school it was.
That they were the victims and
of
also
a racketeering scandal, and they're $1 billion school, and they were, you know, the victims who accidentally bribed $700,000. Like, what did you do with that money?
Yeah.
I agree. Like, it wasn't exactly what it was made out to be in the press. Like, once you watch documentaries.
It was in the press, like it was what it was, but I think the way we first looked at it, I just looked at it differently after getting the whole picture of like, you know, what other people do to get into college. Like,
and by the way, the weirdest thing is that guy, what was his name? The guy who did it, Rick
Singer.
He's still like not in jail. He's like chilling.
Right. 'Cause he sang for his supper.
Right.
It's all so crazy. Anyways, back to Felicity Huffman. Her last thing that came out was in 2019. That's when the college admission scandal happened. And she's in pre-production on a TV series.
Okay, got it. So she hasn't been in anything since then.
You are correct.
So Lori is out here making money moves on the Hallmark Channel.
On the Hallmark Channel.
Well, that's a great segue into our TV recap segment because Vanderpump Rules was on last night. But before we dive into that, can I please tell you about the Downton Abbey movie? I mean, I already told you, but for the podcast.
Yes.
So you had told me.
I have such bad heartburn. Like, I
have
literally...
Tums.
Okay, well, you got them.
No, sorry. I have Tums in my other purse.
Oh, great.
My big one. I'm really sorry.
It's okay. I usually just suffer through it, but I feel like a fire-breathing dragon. Like,
is water supposed to help heartburn?
I don't think it does anything.
I always feel like it's extinguishing the fire in my chest.
That's how it feels. The heartburn is so crazy.
I'm so sorry.
It's worse at night, but now it's like coming to me during the show.
We should really keep Tums here. I always have a roll on me. I'm so sorry.
No, it's not your fault.
I'll run out after this and get you.
I don't love to take the Tums because I feel like they'll stop working if I take them like twice a day.
Jackie, just take the Tums. Like, trust me. Have you ever met Ben Soffer? He's been taking 4 Tums a day since he was born, and he's fine, and he still thinks they work. Like, you're fine.
Okay, fine.
Okay, so the Downton Abbey movie, like, you had put in like a really kind of toxic,
negative
review.
Yeah.
So what did you think of it?
My thought was it was so good to see the gang back together. I hadn't seen them in months because I waited. I was saving the movie for a special time.
I only waited 2 days.
I wish I watched it immediately after when I was missing Downton because I would have appreciated it more. So I was glad to see everyone back. Downton setting. I love that it had this royal theme. But I thought the premise was I thought it was silly. I thought everything was silly. I thought that this idea that the competing households, and they're like fighting over, you know, who's going to do what. And it's like, it felt like Camp Color War, you know? And I just felt like it was silly.
So that part was stupid. And honestly, I was really surprised at Anna, Mrs. Bates, like for her terrible judgment in the movie. Like, oh, we're having the distinct honor of having the royal king and queen here. Let's throw a prank and lock everyone in their rooms. Anna is more sensible than that. So I was really surprised.
It was like so much sabotage.
Same with Carson. Like, they are so sensible and they are such monarchists. Like, in actuality, like I know their characters so well, their characters would have never like pulled the wool over the royal staff. Like, yes, it was annoying that they didn't get to cook and serve for the royal family, but like they would never have acted like such buffoons.
Yeah, and they never would have disrespected the process like that.
No, because they are like so respectful of the king and queen, so they would have just
respectful of even like in the
service.
Of service. Like Carson wouldn't let someone serve the something,
Right.
the footman in the dining room, like. But you're gonna usurp the royal household?
But I'm sorry, like the best part of the movie was when like, you know, they steal the thunder from the royal service. It goes off without a hitch. And of course, nobody at the meal
knows the difference.
Is noticing that this is Mrs. Patmore's cooking and these footmen aren't royal. Like they're just talking to each other. They're not even looking at the staff. And Mr. Mosley like puts his foot in it and he's like, actually, this was the staff at Downton Abbey. Mrs. Patmore cooked. And like he was like so proud, and as he's speaking, he's realizing he should shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I swear to God, that was the best part of the whole movie. But there were some things like I wanted to move forward with. Like, obviously, Mr. Mosley really likes Baxter. And like they didn't even kiss or anything.
Do you want to take back any mean things you said about Baxter?
What did I say about her?
I believe you called her a wench.
I'm sorry, when she arrived, she had major wenchy vibes, but I do believe people can change, and Baxter's one of them. I don't take back. She was fucking wenchy as hell, working for Thomas. And you know what? I really do appreciate the character arc of Thomas. Like, I used to, like, literally beg for him to be fired, just, like, get him off the show.
I know.
But you know what? He's such a troubled soul. Like, it's so hard to be gay in those times, and, like, he just knew what he was, and he couldn't be himself, and I don't know. I forgave him. I did.
Oh, me too.
And honestly, what he ended up doing, like over the course of the show, just like being a menace, was never nearly as bad as what O'Brien did. Her ladyship soap. O'Brien had to go if I had to choose one of them.
Okay, I think I do not detect a lie there.
So then there were like just like other things. And first of all, like one of the biggest flaws in Downton Abbey, period, from start to finish, is their energy for Daisy. Like, why of so many people? It's such an ensemble cast. Mm-hmm. So many people from the downstairs servants' hall to the upstairs, the royals. So many people have come and go. One of my favorites, Rose, who was played by Lily James. Like,
and you really
and I didn't
talk
like
about
her in
a
the
character
beginning.
arc.
Loved her mostly because she married a Jew, and like honestly, I'm just like worried about her in the second movie because like we're slowly approaching the Holocaust, and I'm
but
like,
she lives in America.
She lives in America.
She'll be okay.
Okay, thank God.
Yeah, we're slowly approaching the Holocaust, and you know that like Mary.
I feel like they're literally at the end of the last couple seasons, and then with the movie, they slowed time down just so they don't have to like talk about the Holocaust.
I know, and also like Mary's son is going to go to war
in World War II.
In World War II, and like that's like it's like this period. The movie's 1927, and it's like this in between. And it's just like knowing what's waiting for them.
In 10 years, like totally.
Not good.
So the Daisy of it all. So many characters have come and gone. Ones we loved, ones we didn't love. And the fact that they just decided from day one that Daisy was going to be like an important character, her relationships, her attitude, her career, was such a mistake. First of all, she's the most annoying character. I fucking hate her. And the only thing going for her is like Mr. Mason and his farm. And she just like should fucking move there already, especially because her new boyfriend, Andrew, loves the farm and wants to help out with Mr. Mason. So I thought when the movie came back that Daisy, Mr. Mason, and Andrew would all be living at the farm. And they weren't. Like, she hasn't evolved in her career at all.
No. And she calls herself a career woman.
No, and she's obsessed with, like, forwarding and making a life for herself. And what has she done in the last... How long does the show last for? It ends at 1927. Does it start at 1917?
No, it started Titanic, which is 1912.
15 years. Daisy has not made...
Wait, that can't be right. I'm sorry. Right? No, but, like, Daisy, she didn't age 15 years.
Yeah, I mean...
Titanic happened... I'm so sorry. I just need to like confirm this. 1912.
So yeah, it's 15 years.
That's a major plot hole. That from the beginning to the end, it's 15 years.
Especially because nobody really ages. Like
not at all.
So 15 years, and the only thing she's done is gotten an assistant from kitchen maid to kitchen assistant. Like, and she's supposedly like this career woman. So she was the worst part of the movie, hands fucking down. But other than that, like, I just loved it, and I couldn't believe how there were so many negative reviews for the movie. Like, I thought the movie was amazing. I loved seeing the gang back together. It was beautifully done. I loved the plot of the royals coming. I thought that was just such an interesting way of doing it. Everyone was there. Branson, the assassination attempt. Like, I thought it was gorgeous.
I liked the royals being there. I just needed to confirm that it was 15 years because this hasn't dawned on me yet. And yes, it was 1927 is the movie.
1912 is the Titanic.
15 years. Okay. That's like
it's
really
crazy.
An issue. And there's a second movie coming out this Christmas.
Oh, and then obviously the saddest part, spoiler alert, I'll give everyone a second.
Oh my God.
Is that obviously Maggie Smith is probably not going to be in the next movie because at the end of the first movie she tells Mary that she's dying. And honestly, I started hysterically crying on the couch. Like, I was just so upset. And you know what? Like, it won't be the same without her.
No.
She has this joie de vivre that I do feel like was kind of toned down in the film. Like, she is getting older. She can't constantly be bringing the zingers as much as she used to.
And she, like, all these people want to act a fool. Like, she's been telling you for 15 years how to act. If you didn't hear her, that's on you.
No, and honestly, like, this whole, like, cycle that basically Mary is going to be the next Maggie Smith. Like, it's so true, first of all. Like, and second of all, like, Mary is so bitchy. And, like, she is the next dowager. I was just, like, crying on my couch. Like, it was beautiful.
You know, Mary is the future of the family.
Yes.
Of Downton, especially because her son will inherit. But the passing of the torch was quite beautiful.
It was chilling. Mm-hmm. And I just thought it was an excellent movie. And I loved it so much.
I'm so glad that you did.
And I can't wait for the second one.
I can't wait for the second one.
Except no Maggie Smith, probably.
And we are having, what's that guy's name? The Affair.
No, he's in it? Mm-hmm. Dominic West?
Dominic West is in it.
How do you know that?
Because I saw a trailer for the next one, and it said Dominic West. I swear.
Oh, I'm going to jump off a bridge.
I'm like, I don't know why I'm questioning everything that I've, like, once knew today. And
no,
I have
you
to,
are. Like, don't be so insecure.
No, but it's like if I say something, I need to make sure that it was the correct thing. Don't be so insecure. Okay. Dominic West, IMDb, Downton Abbey, A New Era. In post-production.
So, who do you think he plays?
Oh, I'm sorry. It comes out in 2022. Why do I keep saying this Christmas?
Oh, you're kidding.
That's wrong. That's just all wrong. So, do you think that you are going to continue on this, you know, historical period journey?
No. I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, I watched The Crown and Downton Abbey. Like, if I'm not a learned individual, then who is? Mm-hmm. All right, speaking of learned individual, let's talk about Vanderpump Rules, which is brought to you by Liquid IV. Cooler weather makes it easier to miss signs of dehydration, like overheating or perspiration, which means it's even more important to keep your body properly hydrated. And with flu season being in full swing, proper hydration and vitamins can help support a strong immune system. And Liquid IV is here to hydrate you faster and more efficiently than water alone. The Liquid IV packs contain 5 essential vitamins. It has more vitamin C than an orange and as much potassium as a banana. It's also healthier than sugary sports drinks because they have no artificial flavors, preservatives, and they have less sugar than an apple. They're made with clean ingredients, and the Liquid IV packets are so effective, they're also on a mission to change the world because the company is donating 4 million servings in response to COVID-19, and the products are being donated to hospitals, first responders, food banks, veterans, and active military. Also, Liquid IV is great for hydration, but it's also great for a hangover.
Yeah.
Grab your favorite Liquid IV flavors nationwide at Walmart, or you can get 25% off when you go to liquidiv.com. Use the code TOAST at checkout. That's 25% off anything you order when you get better hydration today using promo code TOAST at liquidiv.com.
Thank you, Claudia. Also, Liquid IV, the perfect sponsor for Vanderpump Rules. So many thoughts.
Wait, sorry. Oh, yes, it would be. Sorry, I wasn't listening. Yes.
No, and perfect sponsor, like, for talking about Vanderpump Rules.
Yes.
My first thought is just a general thought of, like, last night's episode felt like intro to reality television. Like, at one point, Sheena was like to Ariana, like, Lala's here. Are you guys going to duke it out?
No,
It felt like a pilot for a show I don't want to watch.
It felt very different. Like, aside from the obvious, which is that most of the most favorite and interesting characters are gone. Brittany, Jax, Stassi, Kristen. Is that it? Brett and Max. We don't count them.
No.
And they're really like the core of this group of friends. That's the obvious part.
The people whose absence I felt the most was Brittany and Jax.
I completely agree.
They would have been at that party 100%. Kristen was always not invited, and Stassi was always doing her own thing. So, but like, what's Brittany and Jax's take on, you know, Sandy Schwartz?
Okay, so there's a couple things to unpack. It's obviously becoming, and in addition to what you said, like, it is like a different editing. Like, it all feels very weird.
And maybe they're all rusty because, like, they haven't done the job in 2 years, and they also feel like they have something to prove because they lost so many fan favorites. But it just, the way that they were talking, like, felt really like a pilot episode.
And it's obviously becoming clear that this is like the Tom and Tom show, and Tom and Tom were on Watch What Happens Live. And if that's the case, thank you so much. I'm not interested.
No, I have to leave. I cannot listen to Saham Sandoval.
Honestly, I can't stand either of them because you know what? If Tom Schwartz was my husband, I'd smack him upside the head. Yeah. He has no fucking respect for Katie, and the way he never defends Katie and is always like, let me handle this, and then like talk shit about Katie to Sandoval, I would kill him. Like, that's the worst type of husband.
I know.
And then Tom Sandoval thinks that he's literally the greatest artist who ever lived, and everything he does is so great, and everything he touches is so great. I can't stand him.
I can't stand him. Like, I don't find humor in anything he says or does. It feels so put on. The thing with Schwartz and Katie, it's like, it must be like this Achilles heel in their relationship, which is that, like, yeah, he has a best friend who, like, is not nice to her, and he should be able to put his foot down, but it's also the thing that's really making him a success, Tom.
Right.
And all these other ventures, like him and Tom together, are just these big stars, and what can you do?
And by the way, Schwartz and Sandy's is such a bad name. Like, it's maybe the worst I've ever heard.
If they were serving matzo ball soup and knishes.
She was totally right. And you know what? Like, if they wanted to use their name, like, Schwandy's, like, I don't know, something more better, like.
Yeah, they're definitely in a tough spot, and in thinking about this inflection.
Is Lisa invited in this restaurant?
She's not in this restaurant. That's why it's not called Tom.
Got it.
I mean, what would be best for them is to license the name from her, because
like franchise.
They need it to include their names. Their first names are the same, and those are taken. They only have their last names to work with, because that's what brings people. It's not because they're great restaurateurs.
No.
But I also am worried about this new restaurant, because I think we're past the peak of Vanderpump Rules. I think,
of course,
and
just spending all this money.
Though I do think there are always going to be like bachelorette parties and people who are huge fans of the show that when they go to LA, they want that Vanderpump Rules experience. But there is Sir, there is Pump, there is Tom. And yes,
there's Villa Blanca.
The new one will be, exciting for a moment, but like, I don't know that they have what it takes. Like, that is opening a restaurant and operating a restaurant.
I know,
are
so
hugely
expensive,
costly endeavors. It's really hard to be profitable as a restaurant.
And doing it with Lisa is like so low risk.
Yes,
they didn't have to put in a lot of money, and Lisa knows exactly how to run and operate a restaurant. And I think them opening another restaurant is a huge mistake.
I think so too, especially in LA. I mean, I'm sure the way that they look at it is like they probably got a little screwed with Tom. But Lisa did all the work, and they are each 5%, correct?
Yeah.
So they probably are like, we want more. This is what we should be doing. We should be opening restaurants, and then there should be a Tom in New York, Miami, Chicago. Like, we could franchise this, I would say that they should do that with Lisa, but they're not going to do that at 10%.
No.
But I do think that they should find a way to all work together, because I don't know that they'll be able to pull it off.
And also, like, I'm not interested in trying to watch them do it. Like, because Tom Sandoval just steamrolls over Tom Schwartz, and I would feel bad for him if Tom Schwartz wasn't such a wussy. Like, grow up. Yeah. Like, it's just your friend. And you know what? Like, protect your wife. The way that he talks about Katie bothers me so fucking much. Especially now, because I was thinking, I'm like, I didn't know that they were trying to have a baby. And now I'm just like, it might not be working out the way that they want them to. Katie wants to be involved in the restaurant. Just fucking let her. Like, Tom Sandoval's such an ass.
No, but also they're so dumb, because one, Katie does have like over a decade of restaurant experience, and two, the more cast members involved in the restaurant, the more appealing it is to fans of the show. Yeah. So if you involve Katie and Ariana like that, first of all, and it's the four of you, like, that opens up new name ideas. They're just like, they're so small-minded, and like they just don't have, and they really think, and it's so crazy because Tom never even worked for Lisa, and she gave him this opportunity on a golden platter. I think
about that all the time.
And they really believe that they deserve it more than anyone else, but like not more than anyone, more than Katie, more than Ariana. Like,
no, and so now that it's like the Tom show, I just think like Sandoval specifically is even more in belief that like this was always his show, this was always how it was meant to be. Like, I am the star, I deserve this, I got the restaurant, I'm opening another one. And honestly, it's really not interesting to watch,
because it's only him and Katie who are the last remaining OGs who were
Sheena.
Full time from day one.
And by the way, Sheena's, I'm like, she's growing on me. First of all, I love that she's just like living her life. Like, she was wearing this pink dress because that's all that fits her right now. And I just feel like Sheena's always been very uptight, very like inauthentic in a way. And I don't know, I just feel like motherhood is actually really, really good for her. And I'm kind of like obsessed.
I agree, but I think she'll always be Sheena, which we can always count on. But I agree. I think motherhood looks great on her.
Yep.
And I'm happy for her with Brock. I mean, obviously there's going to be some stuff about Brock, and he does seem like a little bit of an operator.
Yeah, he has like 4 kids that he doesn't talk to.
2 kids. He has 2 kids, but he hasn't talked to them in 4 years. I think that's what it was.
Thank you.
And so, yes, that does, raise questions, but there is a lid for every pot. And if there is some funny stuff about him, like, there's funny stuff about her too.
Yeah, no, you're telling me. I'm here for it.
Could see them being really well suited for one another.
Too.
I mean, also like the fact that like, you know, he's now in the promos. Like he said,
oh my God, he was in the theme song.
He is a full-time cast member. Like he met this woman and said, I'll join your job.
Yeah.
Which is like good for Sheena and her work
schedule.
But it's weird for a relationship. You always, you know, you want someone who's like supports you, but it's not like
that supportive.
That, you know.
Yeah.
Like a Beau.
By the way, exactly. So next week.
Except I think Beau eventually
was on the cast. Yeah. But not the first time we met him. Like,
no.
But also, so much time has passed since they were last on.
That's true. Their parents together.
They're
they live
all
together.
just like, we had to catch up with them so much. Like, I had a baby, I wrote a book, like, I did a million things because it's been 2 years since we last heard from them. Also, they go to Palm Springs next weekend. Is that where Raquel and James get engaged?
I believe Rockchella.
Rockchella, right? But yeah, Rockchella.
But I don't think they get engaged next week.
No,
because they have a fashion show. They just need to waste our time.
Yeah. And then the other thing was Max and James, which like I was just hysterically laughing at because the fact that all of this fighting was over the fact that like Max told James that they charged $10 at Dantana's to split a salad onto 2 plates. So moronic.
So moronic. How is Lisa going to let this boy talk to her son like that?
I know. What is with everyone on this show and not defending their family?
I have no idea. But like if you sent a series of texts calling my son a fat prick, you're
dead.
not coming to my house.
And you're certainly not working for me.
No.
This is just like kind of like when James sits down at Sir with Lisa and is like, I'd love to come DJ for you again. I'm like, are we really going through this again? Like James gets fired, wants to come back, like has to grovel, has to fix this, has to say sorry, and then he gets to come back. Like we've got to evolve.
Yeah, no, the Max and James story, like I do hope that they can rekindle their friendship because Max, it seems like they've been friends for a long time and Max is a really good friend to James. Yeah. But like James needs to be a better friend to Max and you can't just, why is every time he gets like angry and sees red, he's calling everyone fat?
Yes, by the way,
Katie,
what
Randall,
is this man's
Max.
obsession with weight? I thought the exact same thing.
I don't know.
He's so fat phobic, like it makes me fucking hate him. And I really do always like try and like yes, he's getting 2 years sober. Like I try and believe in him. Fuck that. Like seriously, the obsession with people's weight is insane.
Yeah, agreed. The other thing that we need to talk about is just Lala, period. Everything. All of her arguments. Like she's just so, here's what I love about Lala. She is so above.
Unapologetically herself.
That, but she's so above all of this, like in every way. And yet she still comes and she gets down in the mud and she's going to, you know, apologize for this or not.
Not apologize for that.
Not apologize for that. And I love her so much always. But even
she was looking amazing and her house is gorgeous.
She's just everything of the sort. And I'm so glad she continues to grace us with her presence because what would this show be
when she doesn't
without
have
her?
to?
You know, and like the fact that she's even engaging in these conversations. Like, thank you, Lala.
I do like the one thing I don't like about Lala. There's just one thing.
Okay.
Is that when she came on the show, and it's not really a thing anymore because most of the castmates are gone, but like when she came on the show, she was bullied like to another degree. And the only girl who was like really nice to her from day one was Sheena.
Yeah.
And then like when everyone realized like Lala was so cool and like she started dating this movie producer and she had this new car and she was just like the coolest girl ever, like 1 or 2 seasons later, everyone became best friends with her. And she never left Sheena behind 100%, but maybe 50%.
I don't think she...
Hold on, our food's here.
Oh, our food's here. Should we do a live unboxing again? Okay, I'll save my Lala defense for when I have your full attention.
Thank you so much.
Delicious lunch. Thank you. Okay. So that's just, I agree that that's what it looks like. You know, she became part of the cool crowd and then she like left her friends who were there for her when she first was new in school. But I feel like she always was friends with Sheena and Ariana too, even as she was friends with the Witches of WeHo. And then for external reasons, their friendship started to slip. Not because she forgot about where she came from. Because if she did, she wouldn't have kept James Kennedy with her for so long.
Well, I do think that like she was like somewhat like in love with James Kennedy for a short period of time.
Maybe for 5 days, like maybe for a minute.
Well, I just think we'll agree to disagree. I don't know how we can go on podcasting when our food is here. Like, I think we have to wrap up.
Yeah, plus that's all I really wanted to say. Next week, Lala takes on Charlie.
And Charlie thinks she's like doing something, and I'm here to tell her she's not.
Charlie thinks she's Lala, and it's like there's only one Lala, and you have to earn your way there.
And you have to give them Lala.
Yeah, no, and Lala just gave us so much before she just became someone that we just rallied behind.
And we accept, even though sometimes she acts out of control.
Yeah, but she also always can see herself eventually. You know what I mean?
Eventually. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that was the Vanderpump Rules recap, and we'll see how many weeks we make it because it's really not a great show.
Yeah.
But speaking of great shows,
Sandoval to me watching ratio, it's directly correlated.
That's such a good call.
So we'll see.
So that's our show, you guys. We hope you have an amazing day. Thank you so much for watching The Morning Toast. Thank you so much for listening to The Morning Toast, the Millennial Morning Show, where we deliver the past 5 stories that you need to know every Monday through Friday on YouTube. So if you're watching this on YouTube, please feel free to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. We're also available as a podcast and where podcasts can be found. So at Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, Public Radio, iHeartRadio, CastBox, all the places. So wherever you listen to podcasts, find us The Morning Toast, leave a 5-star review about how beautiful, stunning, and smart we are. If you made it to the end of the episode, congratulations. You are a true listener of this podcast and a member of the Society, Season 2. And to let us know that you are a true toaster who made it to the end of the episode, why don't you go to our most recent Instagram pic and drop an emoji? Which emoji should we do today? The basketball?
Sure.
The basketball. We're playing basketball. Have a great day, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
We love that basketball.